Hi, I'm Brother Matthew. The lesson today is entitled, The Fantastic, Amazing, Miraculous Father. Jesus told this story, it's called a parable, 2,000 years ago, and for some reason, the Christians have always called it the story of the prodigal son. But it's not really, truly about the son, because, well, you'll hear the story, you'll decide for yourself. The story goes like this. A young man goes to his father and says, "Father, I want my inheritance before you die." Very unusual request, even disrespectful. But the father said, "All right, son, you can have what you ask." So the son takes all his money and all his wealth and he goes to another country, and wine, women, rock and roll, whatever, he spends it all. Every bit of it. And he ends up, and you have to remember this was 2,000 years ago and Jesus was telling the story to Jews, he ends up feeding pigs, the worst possible thing, an unclean animal. And finally, a famine comes to that area, and not only is he feeding the pigs, but he's eating what the pigs are eating. He couldn't be in worse shape. And so he does what any normal son under those circumstances would do. We might say, E.T. phones home. He decides, I'm going to go back to my father's house. He's got food. He has plenty. I'm just going to beg him to take me in as a servant. At least I'll be able to eat. So the young man starts the long journey back to his father's house. And as he's getting close, the father sees the son in the distance. He looks down the road and he sees the son coming. He recognizes him at a distance and he runs down the road to meet his son and to embrace his son. And the son starts with an apology, but the father brushes it away and says, "My son, you were dead. Now you are alive. You died. Now you've come back. You're alive. We have to celebrate." He takes off a ring, his ring, and puts it on his son's finger, a very symbolic and powerful gesture for a father to do. And he takes him home. He says to all of his people in his household, "My son was dead, he's alive, we're going to have a giant celebration." And you might think that Jesus would stop the story at that point. We've already made a dramatic point. This father was incredibly loving. But he throws in, he puts in one more piece about the elder brother, the older brother who always stayed home, and comes to the father and says, "I can't believe what you're doing here. My brother went and he just trashed everything that you gave him. He was totally disrespectful to you. He acted as if you were dead, and now he's back and you're throwing a party like he never left." And the father said, "My son, you've missed the point entirely. He was dead. Now he's alive." Now, why did Jesus tell this story about the son and the father and the elder son? He told the story for one reason. If you get this reason, if you get the point, it could totally transform your relationship to God. Because Jesus is saying, that's how God is. This miraculous, incredible, forgiving, generous, loving Father who gave his inheritance to his son, watched as he threw it away, and ran down the road to meet him, to embrace him when he came home with nothing. I think when you really get that story, you fall in love with God. Because we all have made those kinds of mistakes. Now we know from Jesus' mouth to our ears, that's the way God is. God bless you.